The first time Evelyn noticed the perfume, she thought it was hers. It clung to her husband's collar like a whisper of something familiar, floral, with a hint of jasmine, but lighter, almost artificial. It made her think of the kind of woman who smiled too easily and touched your arm when she laughed. She was rinsing wine glasses when she smelled it. Her hands stilled under the warm water. The scent didn't belong to her. Not really. Her perfume was darker, muskier, something that lingered like memory. This one was bright and playful. Youthful. She told herself it was nothing. She was used to dismissing her instincts. Their marriage had been cracking for months, in the quiet, civil way polite people destroy each other. No yelling, no broken plates, just careful silences that turned rooms into tombs. He'd started working later, saying things like, "Don't wait up," and "We're on a deadline." At first, she believed him. Evelyn had always believed him. Then came the little things. His sudden gym membership, the new phone password, the way he avoided her eyes when she mentioned Claire, her coworker. Claire with the bright perfume. Claire who laughed like she'd never been disappointed. Claire who once asked Evelyn if marriage ever gets boring. Evelyn had laughed then. She remembered saying something like, "Of course it does." She hadn't realized she'd just handed another woman permission to take what was hers. When the divorce talks began, it was as if the years of love between them had been neatly folded and put away. He told her he needed space, that she was too emotional, that their marriage had become draining. She sat across from him at their dining table, the same table where they'd once planned vacations, celebrated birthdays, made lists of baby names that never came true. His tone was detached, clinical. "You overthink everything, Ev," he said, voice calm, patient. The kind of calm that made her feel insane for bleeding where he only bruised. "I'm not overthinking," she said quietly. "I'm reacting." "To what?" he asked, genuinely curious. Nothing happened. The word nothing had a way of echoing in her skull. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing. She'd wanted to scream. Instead, she nodded, pretending to agree. The proof didn't come to her in a grand cinematic reveal. It arrived by accident, an email. She was at work, helping Claire compile data for a presentation. Claire had asked her to print a file from the shared drive. Evelyn clicked too quickly, downloading a folder labeled Campaign Final. Inside was a spreadsheet, a set of mock-ups, and, buried near the bottom, a string of attachments. Images mostly. The first photo was harmless, a blurry shot of a hotel room table, champagne glasses, a corner of a man's jacket. The second one stole her breath. Her husband, half-dressed, his wedding ring absent. Claire's reflection caught in the mirror behind him, lipstick smudged like a confession. Evelyn's heart didn't just break, it folded inward, imploding in silence. The air in her lungs turned sharp. The hum of the office printer became unbearable. She locked her screen and went to the restroom, where she sat on the closed toilet lid, gripping her phone so hard her hands shook. She didn't cry. Not yet. She just breathed, slow, mechanical breaths, because if she didn't, she thought she might dissolve completely. That night, she said nothing. She cooked dinner like usual, set the table, poured him wine. He smiled at her, tired and distracted. She studied him the way someone studies a ghost, trying to reconcile what used to be human with what was left. "Long day?" she asked, voice steady. "Yeah," he said. "You wouldn't believe how much work Claire dumped on me this week." The word were knives. She smiled anyway. "Claire," she repeated softly. "You two seem to work well together." He didn't look up from his plate. "She's sharp, ambitious. Reminds me of you, back then." Back then. The past tense burned. Days passed. She planned quietly. She collected screenshots, dates, hotel bookings under his name. She didn't need revenge. She needed clarity, because somewhere beneath the rage and disbelief, there was still love. The kind of pathetic, stubborn love that makes you hope you're wrong, even when the evidence is screaming otherwise. The confrontation came a week before their court hearing. He arrived late, still smelling faintly of her perfume. He dropped his coat on the chair and looked at Evelyn with exasperation. "I don't understand why you're making this so dramatic. We both know this marriage stopped working." She watched him quietly, the calm before the storm. "Stopped working," she repeated. That's one way to describe sleeping with my coworker. His face froze, then rearranged itself into something defensive, practiced. What are you talking about? She didn't shout. She didn't accuse. She just reached in her folder, slid a single printed photo across the table. The one with his reflection, the one no excuse could distort. He looked down. His hand trembled slightly. Evelyn, she interrupted softly. You said I was too emotional, that I imagined things, that I overreacted. I just wanted to make sure I had my facts straight. Silence expanded between them, thick, suffocating. For the first time, he had no words. He tried to explain. He said things like it just happened, and it didn't mean anything. She listened. She nodded. She even smiled once, a small, broken curve of lips that terrified him more than tears ever could. Because there's something haunting about calmness born from devastation. I hope she was worth the truth, Evelyn said finally, standing. He reached for her hand, but she stepped back. I hope she makes you feel less emotional. Weeks later, she sat alone in her apartment, the one she'd chosen for its quiet, its anonymity. The paperwork was done. The house sold. The marriage officially over. But sometimes she could still smell that perfume in her mind, the jasmine and laughter and betrayal of it all. She wondered if Claire ever wore it around him now, or if he couldn't stand the sin anymore, the way Evelyn couldn't stand silence. Healing wasn't linear. Some nights she hated him. Some nights she missed him. Sometimes she missed the woman she'd been before all this, trusting, naive, hopeful. But there was power in survival, power in seeing the truth and choosing not to let it define you. Months later, she saw Claire at a conference. The woman looked thinner, more brittle. Her laughter, once effortless, sounded strained. Evelyn didn't stop to talk. She simply passed by, perfume faintly different now, cedar and citrus instead of jasmine. It made Evelyn smile. People change their scent when they want to forget who they've been. That night, Evelyn poured herself a glass of wine and opened her laptop. She began drafting an email to her lawyer about finalizing the settlement. But before she hit send, she hesitated. In another tab sat the old photo, the one that started it all. She looked at it for a long time, then dragged it to the trash. Delete. The screen went blank, the digital ghost gone. And for the first time in a long while, she felt light. Not untouched, but unburdened. Sometimes closure doesn't come with revenge or apology. Sometimes it's just the quiet click of delete. And the sound of your own heartbeat. Steady again, finally your own.